Live where you live. This is ABC 7 News.
Well, former House Speaker John Boehner is switching sides in the legal battle over legal cannabis. Boehner announced today he's joining the board of Acreage Holdings, a multi-state cannabis business. The Ohio Republican issued a statement saying his thinking on cannabis has evolved and he'll work to get marijuana removed from the list of Schedule I drugs. That also includes heroin. In 2009, Boehner said he was unalterably opposed to legalization. Now, we're just 4 months into legalized recreational cannabis here in California, and there are still numerous financial issues for cannabis companies to deal with. So joining me today is Sonia. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
She's the founder and CEO of Aviva Spectrum, and cannabis companies, really, they have minimal access to banking and financial services. So what can they do? What's keeping them from banking?
Well, it's not that they don't want to bank,
right.
It's that banks don't want to bank with them. So there was a recent study done, it was called The Business of Cannabis, and only 368 financial institutions were actually banking with cannabis, and again, it was anonymous. There's 12,000 financial institutions and credit unions available in the United States, so that's like less than 4%. So what's holding them back, the banks to the pot industry, is they don't want their banking charter to be removed by the federal government. So that's what's happening right now. So the workaround is a lot of money orders, some cash transactions, a lot of cash transactions actually right now.
What does that mean, though, for tax day, which is right around the corner?
It's right around the corner. So a lot of clients have become very creative. They are scheduling certain deposits with different taxing authorities. That's the IRS included. They have certain places that you can do that. But it's tricky, and it takes a long process to make an appointment sometimes to make those cash deposits because they are quite large at times.
Okay. Would cryptocurrency be an option? That's what Hawaii is doing, right?
Right. So I wish them the best of luck, but I think cryptocurrency, there's a lot of technology involved, some risks also involved. I think the best strategy is what a lot of people are wishing in the industry is to declassify it from a Schedule I drug to something equivalent to something like over-the-counter, like, you know, aspirin. Because remember, there's been no documented death right now for consumption of cannabis. So why it's on par with heroin and cocaine, a lot of people in the industry are a little frustrated about that.
Okay, and several cities, I mean, including San Francisco, have actually considered opening their own banks to help cannabis businesses. Could that make a difference?
It could in the short term, but the long-term play, I think, as a nation, I mean, think about what Canada is doing.
Right.
We need to remove this classification from a Schedule I to something lower. But yes, it could be a short-term solution. But again, we want interstate commerce if we want to be competitive internationally and domestically as well. So it could help, but not a real long-term solution.
Do you think we are starting to head in the right direction and getting them the help?
I think both parties are starting to come together and realizing that there is no objective data to really keep it at a Schedule I. Right. And I think the banking industry, knowing the growth pattern, which I've seen several studies, some say by 2025 it'll be 24 billion. Wow. Do you really want 22 billion just in cash going around? You follow?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. So I think both parties are realizing they need to come together. Let's stick with the facts and declassify it from a Schedule I to something a little bit more appropriate.
All right, Sonia, thank you so much for coming in and giving us some insight.
Yeah.
All right.